Hello, hope everyone's doing well, and welcome back to Worship Wednesday. Today we have Louisville. USS Louisville was a Northampton class cruiser and was the third ship of the U.S. Navy to bear that name of Louisville, Kentucky. She was laid down July 4th, 1928, at Puget Sound Naval Yard in Bremerton, Washington, and was launched on September 1st, 1930, with her commissioning taking place on January of the following year. After a shakedown cruise took her through the Panama Canal to New York, Louisville returned to the West Coast for participations in the U.S. Navy fleet problems exercises, gun exercises, and serving as a school ship for anti aircraft training in the winter of 1933. In the spring, she took a showing the flag voyage, which is visits to various ports to show good faith, and she did this around South America, the Caribbean, and up the East Coast before returning to California in the fall for more exercises, before heading over to Pearl Harbor for even more exercises. Beginning this routine of doing exercises and showing the flag until the winter of 1939, when she was ordered to South Africa to pick up a shipment of British gold to be deposited in the United States, with her spotlights illuminating her American flag the whole way to signal to any U boats that she was a neutral ship. Louisville was not present for the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, as she was en route to Pearl Harbor while escorting an ocean liner. She joined Task Force 17 and escorted Yorktown during raids on the Gilbert and Marshall Islands, pouring back to Mare Island in California to have her anti-air armament beefed up. After this, she went up to Alaska and she was not spotted during the Japanese attacks on Dutch Harbor in Alaska, which happened at the same time as the Battle of Midway. She then bounced back and forth between the Southwest Pacific and Alaska, providing escort duty and shore bombardment where needed. In August 1943, she was back at Mare Island for a more extensive refit. In January 1944, she was back in the Pacific, providing gunfire support of the landings there. On October 25th, 1944, she was at the Battle of Surigao Strait, where she joined many of the battleships that were damaged during the Pearl Harbor attack, entering Yamashiro and Fuso into the past tense. After the conclusion of the Battle of Leyte Gulf, Louisville was part of the attack on the northern Philippines, which was attacked by kamikazes, with two striking her, killing 42 and wounding at least 125. She still performed her shore bombardment duties despite her being damaged, before withdrawing on January 9th, 1945, to return to Mare Island. After her repairs, she was bombarding Okinawa when on June 5th, 1945, she was once again hit by another kamikaze, with more damage sustained and more casualties, but she was back in action 4 days later and was finally ordered back to repairs at Pearl Harbor on June 15th. After the end of the war, Louisville was back to work, helping evacuate POWs from Manchuria for escorting surrendered Japanese vessels from China to Korea. On June 17th, 1946, Louisville was decommissioned and entered the Atlantic Reserve Fleet, remaining there until she was struck from the Naval Register on March 1st, 1959, and was sold for scrap on September 14th of that year. Now, on to Louisville's skills. For her first skill, Lady Lou has to do with her nickname, and the skill's effects reflect her carrier escort role. And her second skill also references her nickname, the Lady's Advance, with her special barrage referencing her shore bombardment duties, and her evasion buff, I'm thinking, references her survivability from her many kamikaze attacks that she survived. As for her quotes, her self intro is a brief summary of her career. Her start mission line, she refers to herself by her nickname. And when she stories with one of her sister ships, she comments about having a different outfit than them. Now, I'm thinking this might be a couple things, I'm not sure, but it could be that she was built in a dry dock as opposed to a slipway, or her refits after her severe damage she suffered, justifying her looking different. Or it's a bit of a meta joke by the voice line team saying, hey, the artist drew with a different outfit, not the same uniform as the Northamptons. Now, for her forgetfulness, I think this has to do with the damage she suffered in the Philippines when the two kamikaze struck her. The second kamikaze took out her bridge and injured her captain, as well as killed the commander of the cruise division she was leading. So I'm thinking that's why she is forgetful and has issue keeping up with stuff, just because head damage potentially and getting basically her head chopped off. So on that lovely note, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.